Okay guys, so I'm in my playground, the Grimace, and I'm going to get right on to it. I'm going to talk about food addictions because I got an inbox message asking me to talk about it, and I kind of get that from time to time, and I thought, you know what, it's time to talk about the old food addictions. What's going on? Okay, so basically people have this like pounding, incredible need to eat. Pretty much simple processed carbohydrates. And there's a few reasons why you're getting the signal to eat so much. One is that a lot of people go into starvation mode. If you're doing these diets like the HCG diet or other diets where you drive your calories so low, your carbs low, your fats low, then your body shuts down, your body goes through a stress mode. You might even become constipated because the bunghole will lock up in times of stress to try to conserve energy. And immediately it tends to affect your adrenals. Your adrenals are trying to pump out adrenaline and cortisol to raise your blood glucose back up to give you some freaking energy. But doing this chronically with coffee is just overloading your adrenal glands, which they start to not function properly. And then that's connected to your sex hormones, and they get wicky, wacky, wonky, and then of course, then things are affecting your thyroid, and then that's when things slow down, and people try to diet more and more and more, and they can't get the weight off. So that's an obvious one. Well, then we've got people who overeat simple carbohydrates. And they eat so many carbohydrates that now the insulin is just pumping to get rid of that glucose, because I often say that your body can only handle a teaspoon of glucose at a time without panicking. So now you're eating all these carbohydrates, and you're eating them, and you're eating a lot of them, and you're eating 300, 400, 350 carbs a day, and insulin is just being pumped and pumped to get it out of the blood so you don't get sick. Well, it just stops working so well. Now would be insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes. Okay, so now you eat a carbohydrate. Insulin doesn't work very well. So you'll either have high blood sugar, or low. The reality is nutrients aren't getting into the cell very well. So that even though you're eating food, your body's starving. And then your body pumps out more signals to eat even more again. And you don't really need the fuel, it's just that the insulin's not working very well, so things aren't going into your cells very well. Okay. All right. Then because of eating so many processed carbohydrates, and you've got high blood sugar, low blood sugar, now your leptin signaling is not working. And the signal that tells your brain that, hey brain, we have enough body fat, so we need to stop storing. So you have signals to eat, because if the brain doesn't hear the signal that we have enough body fat, well, let's get more fat because you're stressed out. And stress can also create this response. So we're going to just eat more and eat more and eat more. Okay, there's more ways to develop food addictions. How about carbohydrates? Carbohydrates can downregulate your serotonin levels, and that's no bueno. So, they ain't the bra. Same thing. I digress. So now, your body, your brain, is not secreting enough serotonin, which is then affecting your dopamine receptors. You don't feel good. Serotonin is a hormone that's going to make you feel balanced. But you know what else? If you've been eating all that garbage, you might have parasite or candida overgrowth, and now your gut is all gooked up. Yes, and that's where you make serotonin. So if your stomach and your body's not absorbing the nutrients very well, and you're having blood sugar dysregulation, now serotonin is not getting into the cell, and it's being downregulated. So the only time that you actually feel good, check this out, the only time that you feel good is when you're eating food, because you get a squirt of serotonin, but only while you're eating. And the second you stop eating, it goes back down, and you feel crap again. So you have signals to eat again. So even though you're not hungry, you start going through your cabinets, walk past that refrigerator a few times, thinking about what you could eat. Yes, but that's not all. There's more. You could have hypoglycemia. Again, we eat too many processed carbohydrates, and now your body has a hard time to maintain homeostasis, a balance of blood glucose, so you're not down here, right? So your energy's low, and your body's like shaking. It's got the shakes, blah, 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 being hypoglycemic. And now your body's sending signals to eat again. And this creates addictions, because the only time you feel good is when you're eating the processed carbohydrates, and those darn things are the things that messed you up from the beginning. So this is the reason why people come to me and try to learn about ketogenesis, because your body starts to rely on fat rather than carbohydrates, which were the problem. Because we're not eating like our hunter-gatherers did with non-GMO vegetation cyclically throughout the year, like 10 weeks throughout the year where things were very bitter. I mean, our hunter-gatherers ate bitter fruits, berries. So we have to look at things contextually, like if we're a hunter-gatherer. That's what we need to do. Hi, guys. Okay, so we're talking, I'm getting like spied on from my video in the gym. Don't mind him. Okay, so basically you want to consider all those things that I just mentioned. Why? Of course, there's the straight up starving yourself. So you're starving because you're trying to lose weight. You're doing a fat fast, or you're doing like HCG, which I mentioned before. You lower your calories and you get signals to eat because your body's going into starvation mode, which can wreck your thyroid. And like you go so low in calories and you still can't drop the weight. That's being affected in your adrenals. I digress. Okay. So these are the things that can make you want to eat. Or, of course, one of the biggest reasons why people have food addictions is because they have candida. Like candida, they're hungry. They want to eat. They're hungry. They're not even hungry. They're hungry. And those little suckers will tell you eat as many candies and sugars and carbs as much as possible. So sometimes the critters in your body are more hungry than you are. But they will tell you, go eat. And just like a zombie, you will go and want to eat as many carbs and sugars and chocolate as you can. These are the reasons for food addiction. And so when you go on keto, you try to get your body into ketosis, then of course your body's not using blood sugar. Now cancer has a difficulty to grow. Now the parasites, the candida, the serotonin that was downregulated can start to heal, and so you can upregulate and have a balanced serotonin again, so you don't have this depression. Your brain's not going through an excitatory response where you need to eat more and more and more carbohydrates or Coke or juice or what the heck, cookies or whatever, chips. People got cravings for certain starchy carbohydrates that are simple. So this is the reason why it's more than just losing weight. People want to go on a keto diet so they can train their body to rely on fats. And I always say it's like crossing that bridge over to ketosis. You can't just drop and change your macros and boom, find success. No, it's going to be a struggle. So in this case, you have to allow your brain, the neocortex, to take control over the signals that the bodies are telling you to eat. And you've got to be strong. And you got to up your fat because you got to quiet the brain down. And there are little tricks on how to quiet that brain down for wanting to eat like a mad person. Oh, cyclic ketosis, like I said before. The carb cycling, 5 days of doing low carb and then refeeding. That is one thing that I really want to talk about. A lot of people are hearing about carb cycling or carb backloading or carb night or all these crazy diets. Like I've mentioned before, if you're a guy who doesn't have metabolic derangement, which there's not that many of you left, or a woman, which is even more rare, your food addictions, your metabolic derangement that's already in place is going to go out of control. All those list of things that I just mentioned, can I say mention one more time? Okay, all those things that I just mentioned with blood sugar dysregulation, which is the root cause of all those addictions, is going to get worse because you never reach ketosis, yeah? Monday through Friday, you're taking down your carbs from 2-something down to 100 or 80. And then by Wednesday or Thursday, your brain is freaking out. And then come Saturday, you start eating and it's uncontrollable. You can't stop yourself. Do not cyclic ketosis. Do not intermittent fast. These are things that totally spark that food addiction. Because if you've got downregulated serotonin, if you've got a candida overgrowth, if you have hypoglycemia, if you have thyroid issue, if you have leptin resistance, if you have all these issues, if you don't sleep well, if you're dieting, if you do the HCG, all those things are going to exacerbate your addictions and you are going to want to eat like a freaking maniac. We don't want that. So that's what I want to say. You have to use yourself, because your mind is a reflection of your body, your personality. So if you're tired of all the BS, because I call it the non-BS diet, then make that switch, you guys. It's time to make that switch. It's time to take control, because your body will tell your brain what to think. You think your brain is, no. Your cells divide, and you got generations. You got sister cell, daughter cell, and they will all crave the adrenaline, the glucose, the simple carbohydrates, and that's why we want to do the non-BS diet. So that's something I want you guys to think about. If you want to learn more, hello Z's. If you want to learn more on how and not look at shoes in the background and really bad, tacky, like freaking electronic music in the gym, go to stephanieperson.com, my website, and I do a little bit of keto coaching. Or you can go to Stephanie the Business Person on my fan page, and I really talk to you guys there. So if you have a question, not 20, because some of you are like, this huge list of questions. If you have a question, you can go to Stephanie the Business Person with quotation marks, or you can go to my Instagram. Yeah. I love Instagram because it's like young people, and I'm a young dork myself at nearly 47, 5 years in ketosis with no feeding, and I always say, like, that's the business. Anyway, I digress. You can go to Stephanie Ketogenic, which is my Instagram, and hit me up there and holla. And I think that's it, you guys. The food addictions, you can't get over them. It takes time. Give yourself 3 to 6 months to start changing your hypoglycemia. We've got to get your hormones, your reproductive hormones in order. We've got to get your adrenals to kind of stop being sluggish. And we've got to get all that cortisol, because your body becomes addicted to cortisol. And so you start producing all these sugars. You can actually break down your muscle and convert that into sugar. So if you want to learn more how to get into ketosis, how to become fat adapted, which takes away all the addictions, all of it, and gets you shredded and nice and healthy, and it preserves your DNA. It's anti-aging, anti-cancer, anti-autoimmune disorder, helps things like Hashimoto's. People who are afraid to do keto because of the thyroid, there's a lot of great new information proving that it's not ketosis that ruins the thyroid, it's you and the bad lifestyle prior to that. So if you want to learn how to deal with all these autoimmune disorders, if you want to look fantastic, feel fantastic, just go check me out, and peace. I'm going to finish my workout. Ding, 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 ding.